Hey there, it's Maddie.marcksherk with the Batey Westerlund Team at Premier Sotheby's International Realty. In this video, I want to talk about the 7 tips and tricks that I can help Southwest Florida sellers to sell their home a little bit more quickly and for the most money possible. Today's market is a little bit tricky, especially for sellers. I'm a realtor in Southwest Florida. My market is going to be a little bit different from other people's real estate markets in different areas of the country or across the whole world. But specifically right now, homes in this area have been sitting a little bit longer. There's a little more inventory. Sellers have to really figure out how to differentiate their properties in order to look a little bit more appealing and sell more quickly. It's just the sort of market that we're in. A lot of buyers are looking for a home that is the right price and exactly what they want. Ultimately, buyers are a little bit more picky right now, and they can be because there is a little bit more available. Just for reference, our team has over about 15 listings at a time, and we get the same sort of feedback on every single listing, and we have all of these instructions that we help our sellers in order to get the best value for their home and get it sold in the timeline that is reasonable to the seller. The first 4 tips that I'm going to share are going to be things you can do prior to listing your home, and then the last 3 tips are going to be once your home is listed, what you can do to enhance the quality of showings and that sort of thing. But the first tip that I want to talk about is know your market. Know your consumer. Let's think about real estate as a product that you are selling. Who is coming to these properties? Specific in Southwest Florida, we have a lot of people that are looking to buy a second or third home, vacation home, that they're going to spend 3 to 4 months a year. That's a big majority of the people that are buying homes in this specific area. That's not the case everywhere. There's other areas that are young families looking to buy their first house and looking for a fixer-upper. That's not this area specifically. Currently on the market, we have a lot of outdated homes, a lot of homes that are on the market that are in the same sort of quality, that haven't been updated in 20 years. They might be in great condition, they might be really cared for, but a lot of the homes on the market right now are outdated. Common feedback we hear from a lot of the listings that are outdated is that there's too much work to be done for this customer's preferences. A lot of these people want to come in to their vacation retreat and stay here for 3 to 4 months a year. They want it to be move-in ready. They want to feel like they are in a great spot that has some updates. Things aren't going to break down because they're only here half the year. They want to be in a nice, comfortable position. A lot of people are looking for newer construction. Some of that stuff you can't change, but there are a lot of things internally that you can consider. There's an article that I'm going to link below that kind of is from Florida Realtors, just kind of determining whether you should renovate before selling or not. What's the priority to you, and are you looking to get the best return on investment, that sort of thing. Does it make sense? Are you willing to put in the work? Are you willing to leave a little cash on the table to get it sold a little bit lower of a price in this sort of market? If you do plan to renovate, it is highly recommended that you start in the kitchens and bathrooms, and that's where you get your most value. A lot of times we hear people complain about carpet in this area. I personally don't mind carpet, but a lot of people, especially their second or third homes, they just want tile or nice vinyl flooring throughout. That's just the common stuff that we hear. Doesn't mean they're right, wrong, but it's just consistent feedback that we hear. Number 2, it's important to stage your home, and stage can mean a whole lot of things. It can be light staging, it can be professionally staged, it can be decluttered. There's a lot of different things you can do to make your home a little bit more appealing prior to going live or getting photos taken to put it online. I really recommend staging. Professionally staging. Typically we work with a professional stager that comes in and either will light stage for a lower price or a full-on stage for a more heftier price. A lot of times you'll have a vacant house that needs a little bit more furniture and needs today's buyers to come in and imagine themselves moving right in. A professional stager also knows what appeals to the masses, the consumer that we talked about in tip number 1. You want to appeal to the most amount of people possible. If you have bulky, dark, or very colorful things going on in your house, it's not going to appeal to the masses. It's just not. It might actually be great taste and it might be exactly the seller's taste, but it's not going to appeal to everybody. The most appealing is the more neutral, light colors, coastal, light blues, at least at this point in time. A fresh coat of paint can make a big difference, especially a nice light shade. White, cream, a light gray. Anything darker than that is just not typically recommended, at least in today's market. It's important to declutter everything on countertops, remove personal items, and small updates can go a long way. For example, like ratty old light fixtures or something like that. It can really make a huge difference if you spend just a little bit of money to brighten up the place and make it look a little bit more modern, even if it's not fully that modern. Replace door handles, outlet covers, make sure just everything looks a little bit more clean. So that's number 2, make sure your home is staged appropriately and it doesn't hurt to get an unbiased second opinion to put their eyes on your home, that aren't afraid to necessarily offend you, and will get your home sold more quickly. Tip number 3 is fix up your home. These defects in our homes are often going to be found out, and a lot of times when you do go to sell your house, you may be responsible for fixing some of these defective items anyways. When you go to contract and inspections are involved, it doesn't hurt to kind of get it out of the way up front. Right now, since I said there are so many homes on the market, the little things that you can do can make a big difference comparing it from one property to another. So making sure that the sliders that go out to the lanai move nice and easy. You don't want to give buyers any reason to question why they shouldn't buy your house, only why they should compared to the neighbors. Making sure that everything is just working. People are, when they come into your house, are going to be opening up drawers and seeing what works and what doesn't. If the lights aren't going on, even if it's a light bulb out, that's going to be a little bit of a red flag in their minds. We want to do everything in this sort of market to remove any of those red flags, whether it's wash the baseboards, power wash the house, the roof, if the roof looks a little dark from grime over the years. Landscaping's important. A lot of times in Southwest Florida we have professional landscapers, but that's not the case for every community. The least amount of pushback or concern for the buyers, the better. So getting this done preemptively will make a difference in the long term. I'm not saying that this is necessarily going to make or break a deal, but it definitely could be a consideration for buyers in today's market. Number 4 is pricing your home appropriately. And this one can be a little bit sticky with the relationship between seller and realtor and trying to find the right price. A lot of sellers do think that their home is worth a little bit more than what it is compared to the comparable properties because they lived in it, they love it, they know all these little details that might not be seen from the outside. I totally respect that and I totally understand that, but at the end of the day, people are going to look at the numbers on a sheet, not necessarily every little difference from every single home and why yours might be this versus that. It's the big numbers that kind of come into play. Many homes in this market are sitting for a long period of time, and right now there's like this cloud of overpriced listings that are just sitting and they're not really moving. They're sitting there, they're getting some showings, nobody's putting any offers in. There's a lot of buyers sitting on the sidelines just waiting for these prices to come down as they can because there's more inventory and there's not a whole lot going on in this market, especially now during the summer. This will change usually in the winter times when it's a little more busy down here. But it's been proven time and time again that pricing a home appropriately right out the gate will typically get it to get sold a little bit quicker. For example, if you price a home at $1 million and it actually should be listed at $900,000, there's a bunch of people that are looking for that home but at $900,000. So over time, over a month, over 2 months, you're going to do a couple of reductions and it's going to come down to this $900,000 price. Then maybe those people will consider purchasing the home, or they've already seen something that was a better deal that they hopped on and moved on. Now that buyer is no longer in the market. People in this market tend to jump on the best price homes. This is not the case for every sort of market, but we're kind of in this declining market that it's important to differentiate yourselves, and the biggest differentiator is price. So when you have a bunch of clouded, overpriced listings up here, once you price yours just below, that's when it starts to garner the most attention. So coming out of the gate with that usually will get your home sold the quickest. That's just what we've seen, what we know, what we've seen happen time and time again over several years of looking at the market and understanding what happens in these upturns, downturns of the market. Just so you know, there's a lot of people that are sitting on the sidelines that are waiting for the right thing to pop up. And these people are not necessarily looking for a great deal. They're looking for the right home for them. These people aren't necessarily going to come in and if your home comes on overpriced, they're not going to come in and offer you way less than you think it's worth. They don't want to offend. They're not here to lowball. They're not here to find the best deal possible. They're just not going to offer. And we see that so often. These serious buyers that are looking for the right thing don't want to offend anybody. They want to get a fair value for the house. If it's a little bit overpriced, they're just going to say, I'm going to wait. I'm not going to put an offer. A lot of sellers say, why not? Why don't they just offer anything? Well, there's feelings, there's emotions. They feel that something else will come on the market that is actually appropriately priced and jump on that one when the time is right. That's just what we see when it comes to buyers and the way the mentality and the psychology comes into play with making offers in this sort of market. All right, so now your home's listed. I have 3 tips for what you can do to get your home to sell after you've done all the right stuff. You've gotten photography, everything is all ready to go. The first thing is during showings is you got to turn on all the lights. The lights, it has to be a bright warm atmosphere. There's a lot of times you walk into a listing that is nice and dark, all the blinds are down. It's just not a good vibe. It doesn't really show off the space the way it should. More often than not, the homes that have been lit up and are ready for showings, or if the weather is appropriate, you can have the sliders open and see the nice view and maybe the fountain outside, you know, that sort of thing. These homes will sell quicker if they are ready for these showings, ultimately. The next tip I have is feature sheets. There's a feature sheet that you or your realtor should put together to outline all of the features, whether they're big features, little features, so your home can stand out a little bit more than the neighbors next door. For someone who has lived in the home, you know every little thing that you love about this property that somebody, even a realtor, wouldn't know because they haven't lived there. You might know that you put on impact hurricane resistant windows last year. That's not something to the naked eye somebody's gonna see. Realtors should be able to pick up on something like that, but it is something that should be outlined in this feature sheet. And then that should be distributed to all buyers and all buyers agents of that sort. In this market, you need to stand out just a little bit more than others. All right, the seventh tip, the final tip after your home's been listed, is just keep your eye on your competition. It's important to continuously evaluate the competition. There's more listings that come on the market, and some will come off the market and some will sell, some will go pending, you know, that sort of thing. It's important that if your direct competition that you see as pretty equal to your home, if they lower their price to $20,000 more, you are also probably going to have to lower your price as well. It's really important to keep an eye on this direct competition, because somebody who's coming into the market looks at yours, looks at them, yours is $20,000 less, who are they going to offer on? Probably that one. This is usually how it goes when it's similar products, but it's just super important. This is the sort of market we're in and just something we have to emphasize. It's important to remember for sellers that Southwest Florida home prices are very robust. They're very strong historically. They're still very high. They aren't the peak that they were in 2022, but they're still very good values. So remembering not to get super greedy and trying to get every last penny and trying to hope for a price that would have sold in early 2022. It's not that market anymore. It's also important you find a real estate agent you trust. If they're listing your home, you want to be able to understand that they're coming for your best interest, not their own best interest, that they're trying to work as a team to get your home sold and not trying to go the easy way out just by reducing price. The numbers are the numbers. It's important to look at the competition and just keep an eye on it, and obviously always checking back in to see what's selling, why is it selling, are we priced appropriately, and continuously checking in order to get the home sold quickly for the most amount of money at the end of the day. Anyways, those are my 7 tips on getting your home sold quickly and for the most price in Southwest Florida in this current market. Of course, this can change, and of course, I'm a realtor, so if you are looking to buy or sell in Southwest Florida, I'd love if you reach out to me. If you just like more information on the area, I'd be happy to do that as well. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully this was valuable and informative, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye.